Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of CleanSpark, ticker symbol CLSK, which was requested in a comment. So I'm going to go over that one as well as these two other tickers on the side. But happy to take requests as the stream goes on and also in the comments if you're tuning in after the fact. If you do enjoy the content that I produce, make sure you like it, share your thoughts in the comments and or the live stream, and make sure you subscribe. I do live streams every Sunday and Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I also try to mix in another live stream either during market hours or, an evening or morning stream, possibly on the weekend, just whenever I can. Have lots of fun here looking over the stocks, the charts, and interacting with you guys. So thanks a lot for joining me. And so here, looking at CleanSpark, I had done some analysis on this earlier, which is why there are the lines here. That analysis was largely based on looking at Mara and just kind of interpreting that chart and relaying it to other miners, just because they all kind of behave the same, but there are subtle differences. And one of those things is earnings. And so part of the reason why I wanted to go over CleanSpark at the start of the stream is because earnings are on February 8th. I believe that is coming up on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, I believe Thursday. So yeah, I just wanted to go over the chart, see what we're looking at here. Does look like we got like a little bit of a double top up here around 1360. Previous high was 1391 over here, the end of March 2022. And it does look like we got a high here around December 27th, hitting a high of 1356. And so, where do I see price going before earnings? That's going to be a little tricky. I feel like earnings are always tough to predict, whether they go up, down, or sideways. And especially with Bitcoin mining companies, because, I think a lot of it relates to what Bitcoin price is doing, but I'm not going to look at that at all for this. I'm just going to look at the chart here. And so from my previous analysis, you can see these two lines here that might be important for earnings. One to the upside, which I think was a gap fill. I usually do blue lines for gap fills, but not here. And so this 1063 does look like its potential target to the upside and 734 to the downside. Also, it does look like there was a gap here that could be filled. And so the high on January 25th was 739. Quite possible that could be filled. But, I think that one way that we can get an idea of where this might be going is by doing Fibonacci retracements. I have been doing a good amount of those on the channel lately. I just feel like they're really useful tools. And let's see. I'm just going to do this kind of mock one because I don't have all of the levels marked. So I'm just going to add all those in. I like to do the 1618 extension. It's kind of nice. But yeah, so I'm just going to do a Fibonacci retracement from the top here at 1356. Try to get it just right there, okay. And then down to the low here, which was 641. So let's see if I can get that just right. Let's see. I'm gonna be a penny off no matter what. It's all right. I can adjust that over here real quick. And yeah, so we got that retracement. And so because this is coming from the top to the bottom, this is going to indicate levels to the upside that might act as resistance or potential levels of support, once rejected. And so it does look like the 382 acted as resistance at a price of right around $9.14, then pulling back to the 236 at a price of $8.10. So it does look like price is hanging out in there. This could be a bull flag formation, but I have a tough time identifying those, distinguishing them between bear flags, whether they break to the upside or downside. It could be a pretty big question here with earnings coming up. And yeah, so I do think that really, if before earnings, if price is still hanging out around here, I do think there could be an attempt at $9.14 again. But if there is an attempt before earnings and we don't break through that level, that could be a double top. That would be somewhat fairly bearish actually, not somewhat, and I would expect a pullback before earnings, or sorry, following earnings. But if we see price around here, if it does seem to be respecting this 236 level, we could, following earnings, see a test of that price of $9.14. Also, really just, $9 round number being a psychological level there, just around dollar numbers. But again, I do feel that 734 to the downside, especially with that gap there, could be where price is going following earnings. And it would be really nice, actually, if that got filled before earnings. There'd be not too much pulling it down, so maybe it moved to the upside. But so I've got that retracement there. I'm also going to do one going to the upside, and that should give levels to the downside that might be of some significance. So I'm just going to try to line this up just right. It's going to be a penny off again. So the high here, let's see, 924. So let's see if I can get that. Both of them are off. So this is a 1 and a 4. All right, and so looking at that retracement, coming to the downside, does look like the 50% has acted as support with this hammer candle here, wick coming down. Right around where that gap is, actually exactly where that gap is, the 618 is at a price of $7.49. And I actually could see, just $7.50 acting as kind of a target for price to be going around earnings. So, I do think that if it is to go up during earnings, it would really have to, it would be nice to get a close above the $9.24 mark, the previous high here. That could suggest continuation higher to go to 1063, but that could also just be a fake out. Seen it a number of times in making videos here. Sometimes you get a signal that looks like, oh, there's a continuation to the upside, but really you need to see another close above that level, 2 closes to confirm that breakout before continuing higher. I think that with earnings coming up, price might just hang out at this level right around $8.16. Kind of a little bit of indecision before earnings, before making the move, after, whether that's to buy or sell. It's pretty tough to predict what's going on around earnings. But those are my thoughts on CleanSpark. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks for the request. Whenever I do that during a live stream, I don't see anybody watching right now. Whenever I do that during a live stream, I always want to click stop recording. And it's like, no, I don't want to keep recording. But yeah, so that's CleanSpark. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. Another one that also has earnings coming up is Canopy Growth, ticker symbol CGC. And I have not looked at this one at all, so this is going to be pretty interesting. Does look like, it's formed kind of a bottom here. I wonder if we can connect some lines to identify where support might be. So let's see, I think the first step in doing that, I'm just going to come over here to $3.46 and then connect that with, the lows over here, which, is kind of a stretch because it didn't really act as support over here, or, it didn't really touch that level. If I were to connect it there, it doesn't look like we would be above that level. But since I did connect it to the low here, maybe I just want to move that up to the close on that day. Then it does look like it's serving as support before this run up. And then we do have support over here. So I do think that is going to be a notable level. We want to see price holding above that. And so if you want to redraw that line, that would be based on the close of, let's see, July 17th, 2023. And that closing price is $3.74. And then the other pivot point I did based on, let's see, this will be the open. Actually, I did that kind of sloppy. The open on January 22nd of this year, and that price is $4.30. And so really, with that price just being a little bit higher, where does that intersect where earnings is? Around earnings, we want to have price above, not go below about $4.35. If it does break below that level, it's kind of going into new territory. Price has been lower, has been down to $3.46. Looks like that was the, let's see, the 52-week low was 34 cents, 34.6 cents. That doesn't seem right. There must have been a split or something. Yeah, right here, 1 for 10. So that makes sense. So yeah, this was the 52-week low at $3.46. Pre-split, it does look like it would have been 34.6 cents. So, if we do break below this line following earnings or even before earnings, I think that could be pretty bearish. So keep an eye out for $3.35. I think that's going to be pretty important. And then, we can do some retracements from this. Let's say we could do from the low here to the high here, get some levels that it might be returning to. But really, actually, I don't think that's going to be too useful because if we do it from the low here, it's going to be that level. And let's see where the, so this is going to be the 100% down there, and then the 0 up here. So that 100% retracement, yeah, the it's not really, it's already broken below, the 786 and all of that. So really the last line of defense here is the 100%, if not going lower to the 1618, and that will put price at a negative number. So I don't really see that happening. But maybe we can do a retracement from, let's see, which one of these is lower? The low on this day at $4.71. And hey, what's up? If you got any requests, happy to go over them. I just got these from some comments, so I'm trying to go over them. Let's see, this low on this day, November 10th, was $4.71 over here, low $4.75. So now I know where the lowest low is over here for this retracement, and we can get it up to there. I'm just going to do it approximate. It does look like it's right around the 100% retracement. So, good to keep that in mind, that it is kind of at a precarious point. Do want to see price, let's see, the low was 471. So if I move that down a little bit, actually I can adjust it here. That is going to be a price that we want to be holding above. And if getting to earnings, we are below 471, that could be, a sign of weakness, that it wasn't able to hold this low before the run up here, and that it could be, taking a little spill following earnings. One thing that is kind of nice about this is that we do see this gap right here to the upside. Filling that would be going to a price of $6.78, which was the low on December 12th. That did close, though, on the day of $6.85, so that might actually be a more proper fill of that gap. But once we get up there, I do think that there would be a good amount of resistance above it. If we do look at the volume profile, see all this volume down here, but we do start to see volume pick up around that area. And there are probably some bag holders there that you want to take a breath of fresh air and lighten their loads. So they might be selling there. And then if I remove this volume profile, I can do a retracement to the downside, and that might give us some signals of where price could be going if it responds positively to earnings. And so that would be going from that high there before the drawdown to the low over here. And these are just approximate. I'm not going to do them exactly. It does look like we got a test of the 382 for this little run up at a price of $5.84. And then also the 236 here just recently, just a couple days ago on Thursday, February 1st, we saw a test of $5.24, the 236 retracement. So it does look like, it's kind of getting at the bottom of this. But, if it does respond to earnings, well, I do think that these are going to be some of the levels you'd want to be paying attention to. Can we break and hold above $2.24? And then at next, $5.84. If price can get up to that level and hold, start consolidating up here, I do think that would be really strong for the stock. And then it could potentially test the 50% retracement at $6.32. But, first we got to get there. And right now, it doesn't really look too strong, just hanging out and down here, probably just waiting to see what happens with earnings on the 9th, which is, I believe, Friday. And we don't see a bearish engulfing candle here, though. And so I think that, there aren't too many bearish signs or anything like that. I think kind of neutral, especially like the RSI just being kind of flat in here, not too exciting. If we look at the weekly time frame, yeah, this is a bullish engulfing candle. While this might suggest a reversal here, I do think that this is a strong sign that that could be a bottom, right around $4.26.5. So you'll have to keep that in mind when earnings come around. And so, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And thank you for the request. And so, yeah, I'm just basically recording people's requests from comments, but happy to take any requests from the live chat, go over any tickers that you guys want. The only one that I have not gone over from this list is Rivian Automotive, which I've covered a few times on the channel. And really, Rivian, ticker symbol RIVN. My thoughts with this are that, I'm hoping that it has formed a bottom here with the low of $14.59. I was expecting $15 to hold, which I have marked on this orange line. And it, for the most part, has acted as support. But, I'm concerned that if we hit $14.50, we might see a tumble down to these lower levels here, right around $11, $12. So I'm a little concerned about that. Earnings coming up in, let's see, a little less than 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm just hoping that this can hold $15, and if it can, maybe get some volume in there, perhaps around earnings, and start to make some moves. It looks like it almost tested the 236 here at a price of right around $17, but got rejected. So if it can get above that and hold that as support, I think there are a number of levels this could move to. And so, yeah, those are just my thoughts on Rivian. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And thank you again for the request. All right, so I'm done with those. Neo and Fisker, give your take. So I did just put out, I can't remember, I think I did it on Saturday. So you can check out that video for my most up-to-date thoughts on Fisker, but I can give, I guess, even more up-to-date thoughts here. I'm just going to type them in here. So we got this nice little request list. So I'll do Neo and Fisker, and let's see anything. And I will cover SQQQ as well. And I should say, hey, more money, what's up? Hey, Nameless, nice to have you guys here. Yeah, so I got those added on there. And also I will do SH, sorry, so missed that last comment. All right, okay, so I'm going to start with, I'll start with Fisker because I just recently covered it. And so let's see, yeah, I mean, my thoughts, I mean, I put this in the video when going over this, I believe Wednesday and the last hour of the month of market was open, last hour of January. I had noted that, oh, I've got this line and this alert here at 75 cents. And so let's see, Wednesday was, January 31st. And I saw this starting to come down. It's like, oh, well, maybe it's going to form a double bottom and bounce there. And so after that stream, I'm not a huge shareholder or anything, but I did place an order at 75 cents. And then on the day after, the 1st, I was like, dang it, I should have placed that order at 74 cents, hit a low of 73.5 cents on the day. A little bit of a green move on Friday going up, let's see, 2.5%. I feel like this could be a double bottom. I mean, it could be negated, first thing Monday, though. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's consolidating up here, and it does look like here there was some bullish divergence going up to the 25th, but then kind of lost that here because we're getting higher lows now, not only with the price, but also with the RSI. So yeah, that's not necessarily saying that anything's bad about it, but just like this bullish divergence that we've been seeing is kind of faded. So I'm thinking that this is going to make another attempt at one. Kind of had a failed attempt last week, going up to a high of 94.3 cents. I believe that was Monday. Yeah, Monday the 29th. And so it does look like, let's see, just do trend line tool. Just kind of, rough rough line here, it does look like, if it does have another attempt, that might be like kind of a breakout because there's not much room to go here. And so if it can break above this trend line, whether it gets up to like 90 cents or whatever, 94 cents. What was the high on that day? What did I say? 94 cents. Yeah. If it can get back up to that level, I think that'd be great. If it does pull back, it'd be good if it pulled back to just like 81 cents around where it's at now. And that could suggest that this trend line is then acting as support. And so then maybe that could be, retest and then bounce. I'm hoping that this goes back to $1. If it does, though, I'm wondering if it will hold like it didn't hold here. And so I've, accumulated more shares while it was down here. And so my strategy is, everybody's different. My strategy is probably if it goes up to 1, I might trim. And if it continues higher, I still have more shares to hold on to. If it pulls back, then I'll just buy those shares back. And I think my average is around 86 or 7 now. So it's not too bad. But yeah, I think that this is going higher. I'm excited for it. But if it does break below like 75, definitely if it closes below 72.55 cents, I think that'd be pretty bad. It'd start continuing down to this trend line here, which I would think maybe bring it down to 60 or 50 cents, somewhere around there. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Small squeeze on Fisker the end of the day. Yeah, let's look at this on the shorter time frame. Maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, let's see. I don't know what's going on with my cursor. I can't. Let's see. What's going on? 30 minutes. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, let's see. This moved up. Yeah, 2%. At the end of the day, it did, I guess, pull back a little bit. Or did that close? No, it closed up here. So it looks like it pulled back a little bit as the market closed, after the market closed. And then, yeah, going up 84 cents, but pulling back a little bit, 2.5% in the after hours, 5% on the day. Yeah, and it does look like, I don't know how valid that line is switching to these timescales. Oh, yeah, that's just the one I just threw up there. But it does look like, it's respecting this here. And so, yeah, I think that I think that Fisker is, at a pretty big discount, being below $1. I think that there's going to be a lot of push to get it above. And I think our earnings coming up, I believe so. I'm in kind of a daze with everything. I'm just covering too many things. Let's see, earnings at the end of the month, possibly the 1st of March. But yeah, if price is still coming down, I feel like they'll have some I'm feeling good about them as far as earnings goes, because I feel like they're making a lot of moves. Yeah, and then like this headline here, why ChargePoint, Lucid, and Fisker stocks all fell in January. Well, if they're down, seems like a good opportunities. And I think that, Lucid just kind of showed us that last week. But yeah, I will move on to NEO next. And so from NEO, yeah, I was hoping that this would rally up to $6 to close January and to close the week. But, that just doesn't look too good. It could be bearish engulfing. I've been referring to engulfing candles a lot. I think, just as I'm learning and getting more familiar with this stuff, but I don't really know how significant that is. This is just a pretty bearish candle going down almost 10% on the, is that right? Yeah, on the week, 10% over the course of the week. And then with this big wick up here, so it doesn't look too good. But, I'm like, whenever I make these videos, I think it's really interesting to pay attention to the comments, because sometimes I get comments that are just like, oh, it's going down to, and then somebody lists a ridiculous price. What's like, why would you say $2? Why wouldn't you say $5 or $4? It has to hit those levels first. And I don't know if somebody said that about NEO, but I just kind of like am getting the sentiment that I was seeing with Polestar at the bottom and let's see the other ones. I think, yeah, Nikola and Canoe at the bottoms, and then more recently Lucid. People were just trashing them when they're at the bottoms, and so I feel like whenever that goes up in the comments, it's like, well, this might be a bottom indicator. And so I feel like that's what's going on with NIO. It does not look good being lower than this trend line, but you know, I could, let's see, maybe I could adjust this, see what happens if I put that. Actually, I don't need to unlock it. I can just adjust it to 7. Yeah, let's see what happens there. That might be a better way to look at this. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I'm going to have to put that in my NIO video, which is going to be, I think, on Tuesday. But yeah, this does look like it's still holding that support. So, and this is based on the daily. Yeah, so I mean, I think that this is, you know, it's crazy to see how Polestar reacted, and then like right after it, Nikola and Canoe, and then Lucid, and I feel like NIO is next on the list. And, you know, where could that be going? I think that was, the levels were kind of based on a volume profile right around $7. So I had initially expected $7 to hold as support. Broke through that, below 6 now. I think that this could be going up to $7. So, I mean, for me, I don't have the best average on this. I don't have a ton of shares. But I think that, you know, if it goes up to 7, I'd definitely be in profit with that. So it wouldn't be huge. But I was just thinking on Friday, man, I feel like, yeah, and also, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing. Like Fibonacci's are so cool. 1618 here at $5.43. I was pissed on Wednesday, January 31st, hit a low of $5.43 exactly, but my order wasn't filled. But then on Friday, got that order filled. But in between that, on Thursday, and I think probably on Wednesday, I was like, man, I'm going to pick up some more shares because maybe that 543 not going to be hit. You know, and with these fib levels, it's like they're to the penny, or, you know, fraction of the penny in some cases, but it doesn't always go to those levels. It's just kind of a guide. And so, you know, I'm thinking like, well, I should have probably placed that order at 545. Really what I should have done is when I saw that, just like, okay, now like increase that order. If it comes back to 543, then it's good. So yeah, I mean, I think that this could be rallying up to 7. And I think that there's, you know, with NIO, there's always like, it's a Chinese company and, you know, the geopolitical tensions, whatnot. But I mean, I just think that it has been beaten down like a lot of these EV stocks. And I mean, yeah, just look at this over time. And this does also have a falling wedge pattern like the other ones. They're all subtly different. But yeah, I mean, I think that NIO could be like a really good opportunity at these levels. I mean, it's been beaten down since it's like the pandemic, right? Yeah, this was running up in 2020 and then hitting the highs 2021, coming down. I think that, yeah, and also, I mean, there's still so much room for EVs. So I think that there's a lot of upward potential for these stocks, and I think NIO is one of them. So I'm definitely bullish on NIO. I think, yeah, and after adjusting that line, I'm actually surprised I didn't do that in a previous video, but probably just because I usually focus on the more recent time frame, having drawn those lines previously. But I'll go over that in the next video and adjust, or mention that I adjust that. And I'm just checking up on this thing. Scienjoy Holding Corporation, SJ, buy the dip price. So I'm going to add that to the list. And then also, yeah, BEEM stock. Yeah, I had covered that. And it wasn't too popular of a video, but I forget who was asking. It might have been Bao about competitors for ChargePoint. BEEM is definitely one of them, as well as EVgo. And so, yeah, I'm going to add SJ onto here. And I will also add BEEM. Cool. And I'm just going to look at the SQQQ and SH. And so, yeah, with this, I I mean, I think that these are bottoming soon. So, it's like I'm super boring, but every week I just buy one more share. And I've been doing that with SH since I think the beginning of January. So I don't have a ton of shares, but I'm not emotional about it. And, I just add one every week. I think I've got an order for, yeah, it went up a little bit in the after hours. I probably have an order for one share at 11.72. And I think my average is around 13. So it kind of sucks. But I think that, there's a good amount of upward potential with this. Yeah, I drew this to, this peak back in October, end of October. And that's 100% move right there. But really, yeah, that's probably around where my average, maybe 12, maybe 13, I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking that it's good to still be slowly averaging into these. And then when the market does turn around, hold them and stuff. Oh, this is the SQQQ. Sorry, I thought this was the SH. Yeah, so SQQQ, I more recently started adding to it. So I've got a smaller position with them, but it's leveraged. So I think it's good to be smaller just to be a little safer. SH, same kind of story, but I just have more shares. This is an 18% move, so not as exciting. But, then again, it's like I'm less red with my SH position than I am with my SQQQ position and my SOXS position. And so, with that, it's like trying to balance them. Although I did add more to my SOXS position. Last week I did trim a little though, but that is about the same size as my SH position now, which, is like 2 months of adding one share per week. So it's nothing crazy. But yeah, I think that the market's going to turn around. I think, here, I might actually just put up the, what is it? The SPX. I think that is a good way to look at this, like a topping signal. Is there something there? So, yeah, I mean, that we did get this big move up. So, that negates any topping signal that we saw over here. Let's see if we look at the weekly. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that this is going to be going up to 5,000. I think that people are like, nah, it's not going to get there. I think it's getting up to 5,000. And then once it gets there, maybe there will be something dramatic happening with the market, or maybe, I don't know, world news might, have some impact on this. If something happens, who knows? That could get people a little bit antsy, or, if we start to get stuff related to interest rates, stuff like that. I don't think that, I think that we're going to be hitting a top at some point this year, and I feel like it's going to be 5,000 at this point. So, I am just viewing that as, more opportunity to pick up some SH, some SQQQ, and SOXS. And that's the 3X short semiconductor. So it's basically like technology's been dominating the S&P 500. And so if the S&P 500 were to come back down and be balanced, the semiconductors and like technology would be more heavily influenced by that pullback, or they would really be the reason for that pullback, because they are, overextended. They need to come back more so than the rest of the market. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is probably going to go higher, but I'm not stressing. I'm just not loading in my short positions. I'm doing it casually every week. And then, yeah, so I'll look at SJ next on the request list. Damn. I was going to, when I saw this, I was like, I feel like this is more money, because you suggest some crazy ones sometimes. I did partake in that one that you suggested in the last stream. I forget what it was called. And I was expecting a bounce, and I didn't really see too much. So I sold my position for a very, very tiny profit, but I'm not holding the bag, so I feel good about that. This could be, double bottom. Does look like it got a nice bounce around there. It's like $1.30. Let's see what the lows were, or the close was here. Close $1.35, and the open $1.35. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's a pretty good sign. It did get a bounce there, a little bit of a bounce. And so that, I mean, Again, I don't know how significant this is as far as direction because this is a pretty big move. Damn, being 55, almost 56% down on the day, that's crazy. But that's a bearish engulfing candle. I don't know how significant that is. If we look at it on the weekly, maybe, oops, that is the weekly. Damn it. Looking at it on the daily here, okay. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess this is where that is. Yeah, so let's see. What was it? Damn. Yeah, bearish engulfing on the weekly. I was thinking I'd be switching over to it. Yeah, I guess I was looking at the other charts on the weekly. Sorry about that. So let's see. This was, yeah, 58.9%. Yeah, I should have just looked up here. That's pretty crazy. It does look like it got a bounce, though. What happened? I mean, this was a pretty volatile bounce, and then it reopened, right around there. Yeah, maybe I can get a trend line or something on there. How does that compare? Yeah, I mean, maybe does look like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So just from like right around the low here on May 25th, and that's 25th of 2022. So going back there, it does look like the close was right around that level on September 26th, 2022. And, but kind of bouncing around that level, hanging out there, acting as support here. December 27th, 2022, before launching up here. And it does look like we closed above that level. So that is right around $1.30. And yeah, is that $1? Yeah, it's a tough one. I can't get the cursor to be right. Yeah, $1.32 maybe. So yeah, I think that's a compelling line, I feel, especially, with starting off with this launch here. I don't know that there's anything else I could connect it with. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to play with this. But yeah, I mean, they didn't have earnings or anything recently? Like what's the profile of this company? Wealthbridge acquisition, Hong Kong-based company, mainly engages in the provision show, live streaming video, entertainment, social platform. Show self. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with this, though, you also have the concern of like the geopolitical stuff. But yeah, I mean, if your style is something like this, I think that it might have bounced at support. And so I guess really, I mean, I think confirmation is key. And so I think seeing where it closes tomorrow, if it closes below 131 tomorrow, I think that the bottom is not in, and I, hang out, watch what happens. If it closes above 131, or 132 really, I think that could be suggesting that the bottom's in and maybe get a rebound. But maybe that rebound happens tomorrow. But yeah, this is one that I will be staying away from. But I do find this line to be pretty compelling. And so yeah, I'll switch over to BEEM, and then I got some more comments after that. BEEM, yeah, I covered this recently. And so let's see, this retracement coming to the downside. Look at that. I wonder when I did this. Yeah, when did I make that video? I could look it up, but I find that pretty cool that it came down to the 786, and that was support there, right around where I have that line at $5.75. So that's pretty cool. Apparently I had an alert down there, so I was aware of it, but maybe I made this video after. No, I made this video a while ago, so that's pretty cool that the 786 is right there acting as support and then going up. And so let's see, I'm just going to gray this out, or yeah, I'll gray it out so it's a little easier to see without that clutter. I'm just going to do a retracement from up here to down here. And it does look like it's attempting to get to the 786 at $7.47 approximately there. Lines aren't perfect. But it does look like it's forming a double top there. So I would say, and then also too, that is, it's going back, attempting to get back to the 786 from this retracement to the downside. And so those are levels of resistance. It does look like it's bumping its head at the 236 from the retracement going up here. And so, yeah, I think it's a double top. I think it's going to be pulling back. And if we, let's see, I'm just going to delete what I just put up there. And if we assume that this is the run up, we can do a retracement from the bottom here, 554 to 735, going up to there. And where could I see this returning to? It did find the 618 as, yeah, actually that's pretty cool. It ran up here, then pulled back, found the 618 as support at 623 before continuing higher. So really, this is like doing another, this is another, I want to do another retracement. So I'm just going to delete this one because it's already found that support on that retracement. And so I'm going to do one from that high. Just going to do it so I can see the numbers. Actually, I don't know if, what's the low? The low here is, or so the close, the low, same thing, 619. So that's where I want to draw that to. So if I go from 735 to 619 right there, that is the retracement from this pullback. And we could see that it is attempting, getting that double top. I don't know what I'm doing. What I want to do, because I think it's getting a double top and it's going to pull back, I should do the retracement like this. And that will give us more levels to consider because it's a little bit tighter. And so this is 32, is that right? The high was 732, yeah. All right, so looking at that, the 618, that's where it pulled back to before, I believe. And so that could be coming back to a price of 662. And if that is the case, and then it's just kind of like stair-stepping its way up, that could mean that maybe it's going to squeeze up because this is just getting tighter and tighter, it looks like. Because, this really, a big move up to like here, and then it pulled back to the 50%, and then, actually here, what's the low on that day? 56. And so, if this pulled back to, I think this could be getting ready to maybe make an attempt at $8 because it seems like it's just going up and down and like zigzagging its way up. But maybe that's BS. I'm not really sure. I was just noticing that, it's already done a retracement and then bounced. And, it's done another one. But yeah, I think that this is going to pull back because of that double top. But then at this point, I have that channel that's there. Maybe it finds support. Actually, what coincides with that channel? Maybe it pulls back to like $7, right around $7. Yeah. At the 50% at 694 and the 382 at 703. So right around there, you see that downtrend, the top of that channel in there. And so then that could be, testing that as support. And then from $7, making another attempt at 9 here on December 28th, hit a high of $7.99. It wants to get to 8. Just needs to pull back a little bit, I think, before going higher. And I think that will be right around $7. We'll have to see, though. It'll be an interesting one to follow up on. Luminar stock. Yeah, is that, Marcus, is that what you're, the Luminar? Happy to go over that one. That one's one that I've covered a few times. I think the last time I put out a video, it only got like 75 views, something like that. So I haven't done a follow-up because of that. So if you want me to do another one, share that video with your friends, get some more views on it. Yeah, I think that this is a bull flag, and I think that this is going to continue higher, make an attempt at 3. I mean, yeah, look at the RSI. It's not fully extended or anything. It's right, right in the middle, 51, 54. Earnings are coming up the end of the month. Yeah, I mean, I think that, let's see. So I got that retracement there. Yeah, I think that really like $2.70, right around there. I think that's going to be pretty key support. I have alert in this orange line at 271, so just above that level. But yeah, I think that this is, and I've been wrong about this. I'm not the best at identifying flags, whether they're bullish or bearish. But this one to me looks, I mean, I've got the feeling that it's going to be going on a rampage soon. Maybe look at this on the weekly. Maybe that'd give an indication. It would be nice to see the week close higher than, so really it'd just be nice to see closes higher than 292. And so that's really just like, what was the high of last week? 297. So yeah, I mean, I think that this week, it's looking pretty strong, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just like the tops of these are kind of coming down, the bottoms are coming up. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's getting ready to launch. But I don't see anything with, there's no divergence down here. Let's see, maybe look at the volume profile. I mean, that's, yeah, I guess it's just kind of, it's like sandwiched in this area, filling in that little volume gap there. And then, I mean, how many days has it been in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like this could be, next week, I think that this could be testing $3. But I could be wrong, and maybe it collapses because there is this volume gap down here. But I'm leaning more towards this going higher. Those are my thoughts. But again, I could be wrong. But yeah, go into the 618 right here, $3.08. Here, I've got, what are these alerts that I have here? I'm gonna put an alert at $3.08, and I'm gonna hope that goes off this week. So let's see, it was $2.92, $3.08. So hopefully, I get a Luminar alert this week. That price is up there, but I'll be paying attention to it anyways. But yeah, I think that this is going higher. But I guess too, though, there is this gap to the downside at $2.41, but that's probably pretty insignificant. I've recognized that a lot of the gaps that I've called out don't get filled. Like American Airlines, I think is a really nice example of that. I noticed a lot of gaps to the downside, and it's just continued going. So I would not be waiting for this gap to be filled. Gaps get left behind all the time. And I don't think it's showing signs of weakness. Okay, and then, come on. Oh, sorry, I took so long getting to that, Marcus. Yeah, I agree. Very bullish, all news. I agree about Luminar. Yeah, it's working its way up. And yeah, it's definitely looking strong. I think like there would be a concern if it looked like there was like a double top or something that had happened with GameStop. I was excited about it doing this, moving up, consolidating, but then it formed a double top. And so I don't see any double tops here. It's just, pounding up there, and eventually it's going to break through. Those are my thoughts. Everybody wants to buy below 270. So are my thoughts. SJ, more money saying SJ, possible squeeze, don't miss out. Yeah, I mean, I could buy like one share and ride it up to, yeah, double that. But I wouldn't want to risk more than $1.38 on this. But in the after hours, maybe in the pre-market, it's going to be lower than $1.38. So that's a pretty nice discount. And yes, nameless, I will definitely do Coupang. Damn. So let's see. Yeah, so it's broken below that 786. So that doesn't look too good. I feel like there may be something else. I feel like it's probably going to do a full retracement. I think it's going to come down to 1267. Unless there's something stands out. I mean, let's look at that volume profile. There is this little shelf right here, thanks to this price action over here. And, you know, this. So, well, that's, yeah, the bottom. So, if it, RSI looks like it's dipped below, let's see. That is a bullish engulfing candle on the daily. What's it look like on the weekly? This could be a bottom. That big wick down. This is on the weekly, but I feel like this could be the bottom. Yeah, because it's right around the 786. Does look like it broke below, but you know, you need to see that confirmation. And so right now you saw this close below, and then this close lower, you know, does suggest, oh, you know, that could be confirmation that it's broken lower, but then you get a bullish engulfing candle around there. So I'd say it is not decided yet if this is going up or down. And so I would wait to see what happens on Monday. I am going to be doing the Palantir live stream tomorrow, streaming their earnings report. And so I could go over some tickers after that. I'm going to start it 15 minutes early just to make sure everything's running smooth. But yeah, I could follow up on this after that stream. I don't know how long it will go for the earnings call, maybe half an hour. I don't know how long those things go. But this does look to me like it's getting ready to turn around. And then from here to here, ooh, yes, look at this. What do we see here in the RSI? A lower low. What do we see here in the price? A higher low. That is, I believe, hidden bullish divergence. So if I were to put my money on this, which I am not, I would say I think that this is going up. I think that this has found a bottom. But I'm not putting my money on it. I have nothing invested in it. Don't plan on buying it. But if I were to, I don't know, be forced to either long or short this, I would long it. I would, yeah, I think this is going up. And let's see, earnings, the end of the month. I mean, and with earnings, if it's not up to here, 1560, where there's this volume shelf, and that's, I think that, yeah, I mean, here, let's look at this. I'm going to gray this retracement out again, and I'll check the comments in a second. I see more people commenting. Yeah, and Marcus, you're welcome. SJ, don't look good, is what All News is saying. So, yeah, I mean, that, I mean, I feel like I don't really get queasy, but I feel like, you know, if something gets really volatile, it's like, you know, I don't want to chase. And that to me seems like a chase. But yeah, I could do a retracement from the top up here. A little bit off, but no big deal. And then to the bottom here. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm feeling like this is, you know, man, why did that move? Oh, because I moved the frame, I guess. It's ugly. Move that down. There you go. And Just going to make it just right. It's probably not going to go. There we go. Perfect. Cool. I'm locking that. Where could I see this going? It does look like, 1660 or 1550. $16. That's the 382 retracement. I think that this has found a bottom. But yeah, I mean, this just seems, I mean, because that's a clear bottom there, and it tested that trend line there. Or really, I mean, it didn't test it. I drew the trend line based on that. Yeah, so I think that the bottom's in for it. And I see that there are fewer people watching than were a few minutes ago. So if you have any requests, happy to take them. We've got about 5 more minutes. I've got to go to work after this. It sucks. But yeah, I'm excited for this week. I think, just because I've been covering Palantir and PayPal regularly. They both have earnings. I don't think I'm going to cover the PayPal earnings because people haven't been asking for that. And then, and I've been keeping this schedule, this calendar, and just trying to get all these tickers. All news, you're going to be watching, I'm just going to type up so it moves it up because there's a stupid heart emoji that I can never see stuff. Be watching it tomorrow. Cool. The Palantir, what's it called? Stream, whatever they called it, something else. But yeah, I just put a link out for that, made a thumbnail for it, and yeah, I think I've only really tuned in for one earnings report. It was for AMC, and I don't really follow earnings reports and stuff like that, so it'll be a learning experience for me. But yeah, Palantir is such a cool company, and I got myself nervous making that video. Because I made the video and then, it's like, I think this looks really strong because it did break back above this uptrend, but it didn't get to this 236 level at $17.12. So that's suggesting it's gotten rejected there. So maybe it's not so strong. And then for part of the video, I zoomed out like this and I realized, wow, there's all of this room underneath. So it's not just this gap here that needs to be filled, but it's just price moved up so violently from here. I don't think this gap would be filled because that would be coming down to $8, less than $8. But yeah, I mean, if this can go up 20% following earnings, that means the stock can go down 20% following earnings. So let's see. I don't think that would be so extreme. But yeah, where would that bring it from? Let's say it's right around this orange line, 20%. Could bring it down to $13. So yeah, I don't know. Earnings make me really nervous. I'm always wanting to buy calls or puts to make some quick money, but I know it's always a bad idea, so I never do it. But I feel and the reason why I realized this, I put it on the thumbnail, I didn't notice this at all during the stream, but then because I had done these retracements, I saw this diagonal line here, down here, and then up to here, and it's whoa, wait a second, there's a shoulder here, a head here, and then this is kind of an ugly right shoulder, but yeah, I was considering re-recording the video, but it's nah, I mean, I'm not great at calling head and shoulders. If they happen and they play out, I think that it can be, pretty interesting to go over them, but I feel like they never play out as I expect them to. But yeah, if that's the neckline, we did get a bounce from that, so I don't think that it's significant. And it's well, do I re-record it and mention that? And that's probably just creating fear that doesn't need to exist. But I mean, I think that this is pretty I don't know, before earnings. But yeah, I mean, if we're showing strength, especially if we get above 1712, I feel like it's showing strength and it's probably going to go up. But man, that got me nervous seeing that. On Baba, yeah, I was going to do an update, but that last video didn't get tons of views. I thought that was going to be like a staple that I'd be doing it every week. But I think, yeah, people are just like Neo. People love Neo, but I think people have just been turned off from Baba. Let's see, earnings on the 7th, coming up in a couple days. Man, yeah, I mean, it's above this downtrend. It did break below it. But yeah, I mean, I think that, well, with that, I mean, it's above the downtrend, but it's not at that. It's not right above it. And so with earnings in a couple days, this is a daily. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it could be coming down to 70, right around 70 or 69.50. That was the bottom here. So it could get, another test of that. And this is just kind of like a fluke break. But it could, come down to the yellow line at 67 bucks. They're kind of like retesting that. And maybe that's what it needs. Maybe it needs a double bottom right around $67. And if it gets that, then, it would be cleared to take off. But yeah, and volume's not too crazy. I guess it is picking up, but it's like picking up on a red day. I'm still working on understanding how volume relates to reversals and stuff. But yeah, there is this gap. So yeah, I would think that this is going to go down. And I might put an alert on here. What's the high here? 70.50. I might put an alert at 70.50. And that's for below. Yeah, so that coincides with the gap fill here. But then there's also this other gap fill to $70. So maybe I'll put another alert right at $70. So I mean, I'll probably just be getting a lot of alerts, but yeah, I mean, I think that where this is at, it's kind of like in this open space. But with that, I mean, it could be, it's got this much room to the downside, in my opinion. So, this basically before earning or following earnings, this could drop about 6%, or this could go up 13, 14. No, well, I guess maybe it'd be over here. So 13, 12, 13%. So I guess in that sense, the odds are in your favor. But with this gap here, and yeah, but maybe, I mean, was just going over how I think Neo could be at the bottom, and I don't know how in sync they are with each other, both being kind of, I don't want to call them meme stocks or anything, but definitely in the community of, I don't know, stocks the newer generation of investors, I'd say, are interested in. And so, yeah, I mean, if Neo's at a bottom, I could see that. I mean, maybe this pulls, yeah, it's tough because there's not too much there. It does look like it's consolidated a lot there, though. And maybe I could draw some trend lines. Let's see. Maybe from just kind of approximate. But yeah, then this is kind of, getting into this wedge could break in either direction type of scenario, I think. I mean, however, draw that. But yeah, I mean, I think long term, I think this is good. But as far as earnings go, I think that I'd put my money on this going down. But I'm not good at doing that with earnings. I'm not good at being right about where I think things will go around earnings. I'm not sure. All news. I see your comment. Try triangle and wedge, much easier. Is that like a triangle and wedge tool? I don't know that there is a triangle or wedge tool in this. And so this is probably why, I need to switch to trading view. Just that the tools there are much nicer. But yeah, I mean, if it says it's earnings are on the 7th, and so I mean we got 2 trading days before that. I don't know if it's before or after market opens, but if this is basically the low of Friday, which was $71, 71.05, if it's able to hold above $71, or really, I'd say maybe 71.30, because a couple days advancing from this, that'd be right around 71.25, 71.30. If it can hold, if it can close above 71.25 or 30 the next couple days, I would think that, I mean, I just kind of threw this line up here, so it's approximate. Oh, but maybe, I mean, it's got a pivot point here. That's cool. A nice little pivot point there. Yeah. And also too, this hammer candle following these downward moves could suggest a reversal, of bounce. So yeah, I mean, this could be at least getting ready to test the top of that little wedge thing there. But yeah, earnings make me nervous. But yeah, I should get closing this down because I gotta finish making my lunch and get to work soon. And I kind of end up procrastinating with that stuff. So I should probably close this down. But yeah, it's super cool to go over all these tickers. I'll add the ones that are new to the DGen Ed list, and I'll try to put some clips out. I'm actually working overnight, and there's not going to be much to do, and so I got to train somebody. But I think it's going to be pretty boring. So I'm going to bring my computer and try to edit some clips from this stream to get them out. Hopefully tomorrow morning, but or maybe when I'm at work. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I have to use my phone, my hotspot, to upload that stuff. So I don't know. All news. See what you're saying. Just this stupid heart emoji block stuff. I'm definitely buying 2 calls on Luminar. Work is pretty easy. I'm actually basically we're kind of short staffed now, and so I have to we rotate now, third shift, the night shift, and this week so I work in a factory doing quality control in a lab, but this week they're not producing anything as far as the factory goes, and so there's nothing going on in the lab. But there's a new person who has to be working the night shift. So I'm basically just going there so, she can be getting trained. But yeah, I'm going to bring the book that I've been reading, which is, One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. Not as exciting as the last book that I read, but I think that it's kind of like it's a book on investing from an older generation of investors. Like I don't know how old you guys are and stuff. But it's definitely I feel like with Robinhood and, the pandemic and just all of this stuff that, millennials, Gen Z getting into the market, it's just like a new style, a new generation of investors. And so it's interesting to be reading, like, it's like the book that I had just read, The Psychology of Money, is like taking stories from history and lessons from those stories, but written by, I believe, somebody who's a millennial. And so I found that to be really interesting. But then this new book by Peter Lynch is basically, stories about history written by somebody who lived that history. So I think there's going to be a lot to learn from it, but at the same time, it's going to be like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. But, it's some stuff that I just started it, but he talked about how dumb money is not really that dumb. They can actually be smarter than smart money. And one thing that kind of stood out to me was he was talking about gold mining and the gold rush, and you didn't make money panning for gold. You made money selling picks and shovels. And so I was just thinking about that and thinking about ChargePoint, with electric vehicles. And, there's this grocery store in town where I live that has a couple of ChargePoint power stations. And a couple days ago, I saw a car plugged into one, and it's just like, that's the picks and shovels, You enjoyed the book review. Cool. Yeah, I'll do this. This book is denser, the one that I'm reading now. But I'm bringing it to work, so I'm going to try to read a chapter of it. And, keeping up with these videos, especially when my work schedule gets screwed up, it is tough to keep up with everything, but it's so exciting to see the channel growing. I think that the channel will be like, and I can't imagine it's a lot of money that I'll make from it, but I think that the channel will be monetized either by the end of February or first half of March. And so I'll probably do another day stream, little celebration thing. And yeah, I've dreamt about that on YouTube for the past 9 years. So yeah, it's worth the amount of work that's going into it. I'm loving it. Making these videos, going over these charts is just like reinforcing, my like discipline with charts and trading, and it's just, I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm definitely making them, but and I'm also learning from my successes. Really proud about calling the bottoms on all those EV stocks, and exiting some at possibly too early on some, but like I think Polestar is an example of that was a pretty good time to get out. But yeah, speaking of getting out, I'm just gonna throw up this thing at the end. I know you guys all like and subscribed and enjoy the content and stuff, and thank you so much for participating in the live streams, because I've last channel that I had, I do live streams and nobody would interact. And now it's just like, this is a breeze. I say, let us know if we can contribute to the channel. So like, basically once I get 3,000 watch hours, that will open it up for, like, I think it's like supers, and I think like kind of like a club or something, or like more of a community thing that's kind of like closed doors. And so I don't expect any of that, but like if I one of the videos helps out and you want to, you can contribute in any way that you want. But my big goal is to get monetized with ads, because I'm sure that whenever you guys watch my videos, you see ads. I don't make money from those yet. But once it hits 4,000 watch hours, which I think will be, in the next month, I don't think I'll make a lot of money on it, but that's my goal. And then I just want to keep grinding at this so I can eventually quit my job and get a part-time job or something. But yeah, this is such a cool journey. And yeah, when I do hit 4,000 watch hours, I'm going to do like a full day live stream. And yeah, that's like the most exciting thing to be happening. But yeah, I got like 10 minutes before I got to leave my place. So I'm going to sign off here. And yeah, I'll be streaming Palantir tomorrow, putting out GameStop video, and I'm going to try to do an update on SoFi as well. And then and I'll try to get some clips from this stream out. as well throughout the week, but before those earnings, in the clips, the stocks that I was going over initially. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out, guys. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to streaming the Palantir earnings tomorrow. The webcast is what they refer to it as, and then streaming again Thursday night. So yeah, thanks a lot for hanging out, and yeah, good luck tomorrow in the markets. I'm going to be sleeping, unfortunately, for most of the market being open. But yeah, I'll see